Killswitch Engage, the metalcore act that is definitely making a wave of music that's been really good the last few years, releases Atonement back on August 16th. Been wanting to get to this album review, and here we are finally doing it. Or I'm finally doing it. Just a camera, if I can even fix it. Putting it down a little bit. There we go. Atonement was released, once again back in mid-August last month, and the band continues to try and maybe even experiment slightly. I wouldn't say experiment, but they have two notable guests on this album: singers Howard Jones from Light the Torch and Chuck Billy from Testament. Definitely got some good, interesting variety in this album with singers, wide range of vocals. But how's the album turn out overall? We'll get to that as we start off with the first single we got, Unleashed. This is a very heavy, but yet atmospheric tune. I wouldn't say completely nice atmospherically, more of a dark atmosphere, kind of an unraveling reality surrounding around you. This is a song that really feels like emotions being let out with this track. And I like how Killswitch starts off with a slow punch, rather. Jesse's vocals on this song really just flow with the music. It feels like everything came together perfectly for a great start to the album Atonement. Next track we have is The Signal Fire. This features Howard Jones. I love how the song starts off very heavy, very fast riffing on this one, and just the intensity of Jesse Leach once again, and then going back and forth between him and Howard Jones. Howard still got it, being in his mid-40s, I believe, and he's just absolutely killing it. Definitely very underrated vocalist. Very intense song. I really love the power that Killswitch is able to generate. They show that they can really write out some really heavy tunes, even as they're getting into their 40s and stuff. And as bands, obviously get older, they want to evolve and kind of go more in a simpler, softer direction. But there's quite a few bands as well that continue to unleash a wrath of destruction, as what this song offers. I love how it goes. Great job to Killswitch on this one. Next song is Us Against the World. Once again, it kind of feels like it's unleashed in the second part of it. It's like very intense once again. The emotion it feels like it's there. Jesse really once again showcases how great his vocal range is on this. He's already showcased how great his vocals are. He's been really pushing his range the last couple of albums, and it's been showing how well he can just do it. Along with the more just continuation of what they've been doing, it seems like the formula is well worth it. It's almost like they're just like, okay, we're just gonna do it, and it comes out very well with this one. I like it once again, and that pushes us into The Crownless King. This features Chuck Billy. Once again with The Signal Fire, we go back to the slaying of the guitar riffs. Very heavy once again, just very intense vocals once again with the percussive background, just the background of the instruments, just paving way for a very intense track. Once again, a short, intense track, just like The Signal Fire. The chorus is not as wouldn't call it like with the clean singing thing, but it's very, very, once again, just a downright slaughterfest of heaviness. So Killswitch really keying in on like a mid-2000s Killswitch. It kind of feels like we're listening to it's like Killswitch just, I don't know, it feels like it's like starting to descend with the intensity of the first little bit of the album there as well. I don't know how to explain it. It's very cool though. We get to I Am Broken 2. This was one of the singles off of the record as well. This is where things strip down, become very simple. It sounds like a very radio-friendly track, but at the same time, I don't really think that really has any effect to what the song's outcome is. I think the song turned out to be very well done. Jesse's vocals is well done. It sounds polished. It sounds very clean. Obviously it's clean vocals, but he sounds very, very clean with his tone. It doesn't sound influenced by something else or something. The simple background rhythm, the simple rhythm behind it, the simple notes being played, the simpleness of the track, and combined with the vocals, actually makes for this to be a very well-received track. So 5 songs down, and we're already really we're met with a very intense album. This is a great start. When we get into the second half, we start transitioning to the second half of the album. Things kind of slowly trail off a little bit, and this is where we get to "As Sure as the Sun Will Rise." This is another quite intense song. It's more or less another average song on the album. It's kind of like the formula didn't change that much, but in this case, it continues to try and captivate you at this point. Killswitch, like I said, nah, ain't a bad song. I think it's cool. The heaviness is there still once again, just like it showcased with the second and fourth songs. But then we get into Know Your Enemy. It trails off a little bit even further, actually, so we're actually not going in the right way, except that we're going the wrong way this time. Just another average song to me once again. It doesn't seem like the songs at this point are. It sounds kind of like they didn't want to change much, and it's kind of like they kind of may have hit a wall maybe at this point. I don't know. Like I said, once again, the song ain't that bad. Take Control is a bit of a slower song, like I Am Broken 2, but it's definitely got some. I don't know what you want to call it. You want to call it like a. Kind of sounds like it could have been put in the mid 2000s a little bit, but I mean, this isn't a bad track either. But it doesn't sound like it's like anything new to offer. It's kind of like just a recycling a little bit starting to happen here. I'm not trying to say that Killswitch always recycles everything or whatever, you know. At this point, it's just kind of like things are trailing off a bit. It just doesn't register with me the same as the first half did. I'm just not feeling the same angst, the same will, or I'm just not feeling the same thing. Not saying the band ain't trying, they are, certainly. We get the Ravenness, and this is where the things pick back right up. I think this sounds a little bit like Rose of Sharon a little bit, but in a more simpler and more modern taste. Definitely not a bad song. It kind of returns back to the oomph, the aggression. I'm not saying that the last three, well, like the last song, Take Control, has a heavy, it does have some heavy guitar tones to it with a drop B flat tuning, if I remember correctly. But Ravenness is definitely one that brings back the drive. I feel like I start getting back up onto the base of where are we at now. I'm not like under the water or anything. Things are back to where they are. But I can't be the only one with the next track being that. It sounds like it could be off of My Last Serenade, and it's definitely one that's sounds like they kind of went old school a little bit again with this one. You haven't heard too much of the old. It kind of sounds like you have heard a bit of the old school Killswitch a lot on this album, and this continues that trend. I really feel like the song definitely it brings out a bit of emotion again. I like how the song kind of glides through. It sounds kind of bright at times with the guitar tone. Sounds a little bit refreshing, but at the same time, it also sounds like it could have been just. You know, it's kind of like a track that's there. Definitely not the most memorable song, like like with the songs such as "Know Your Enemy" or "Take Control." We're moving to "Bite the Hand That Feeds," the last song of the album. This definitely, I can't believe I'm even saying this. At times it feels like I'm listening to Hatebreed. I do not know why. It seems like it's like a stretched out Hatebreed song. Nothing that's again. Like this is definitely not a bad closer. One that it sounds like it kind of they didn't put enough fuel in the tank or something. I'm not sure. I could be being nitpicky. I could be a bit critical on that one. But not a bad track to end on. Very heavy, very intense. The drive is there with the control of pacing. They definitely have gotten so good with pacing, it seems like, with this record. It's like the pacing on this one definitely varies, and you can see how the one here, they don't make it all super fast. They have a moderate fast tempo, the chugging riffs. Towards the end, it sounds like I'm listening to Hatebreed again with the slowdown. I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, I think Atonement really ended off not too bad. I think it ended on a heavy note. It definitely ended on a decent note. But overall, the album in the first half, it seems like things were very strong. It's like the connection was there. The second half seemed like things kind of trailed off a bit. Not in the best way, obviously. It's kind of like they kind of lost the touch a little bit and kind of did a little bit of the same. And then They tried to offer something here and there, and it kind of didn't feel like it was something I could really get myself into. Overall, the first half sound, it's like it could be in the mid to upper 80s. The second half, I'm not so sure about that. It's more like upper 60s. Putting two and two together, this album's getting a 76 out of 100. I found this album to be definitely not the best, but it's definitely the first half of the material. I think it could be some of the best material they've had in a while, to be honest. I don't know, but each album seems like I gotta say overall, the Killswitch Engage continues to just prove why they are one of the more important metalcore bands in this time right now. They are definitely not going to be forgotten about. They're like, okay, we're putting our foot down. We got this. And Jesse Leach continues to just, have a great singing voice with everything else going right in the band. Overall, though, this album could have been a little bit worse in the second half. It just, with the second half, that's where the 76 comes into play. The second half is like, there could have been more there. It could have been a little bit different. Some people are going to be like, oh, well, the second half's good. What are you talking about? Then I'm just going to be like, well, I mean, you must be more of a diehard fan. I don't know. Killswitch Engage is not exactly a band I listen to every single day, but that's not the point. The point is that this album ain't bad. I definitely would recommend picking it up, especially if you like the first 5 tracks. I guess just look it up on YouTube or something. Overall, once again, 76 out of 100. Not bad. It's good. It's sort of excellent. But then the second half trails off. Thank you everyone for watching this video. The next video or album review I would like to get Slipknot over with. I hope sometime in the future I'm going to get that going. And then I think I'm reviewing, I might be reviewing Rammstein's new album next. I'm kind of all over the place with albums I'm going to review. The Rammstein's Untitled will be one of the next in line to be reviewed. Do not go away. Stay tuned for that though in the next video. I'll catch you all later.